All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone that rule well, teach well, while learn this truth. 100% according to the Bible. Also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, service scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you few sisters that are sincere, your children, shalom. And in today's video, as you can see, is going to be building off of this video that I got here from this guy. And as you can see, a lot of brothers, you see, and elders been doing videos going into this, you see. So basically the spirit just jumped on me, to basically do a little follow-up video on it as well. But, you basically got this Jake having a dream about, basically all of the things that ought to come to pass real soon, which is the things that the men of the Lord have been prophesying and ultimately warning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, both men and women about that are soon to come to this place, America, in the world, right? And we know we're in that time of season where the Lord said that he would do these things, you see, as it tells us right here. I'm going to grab this precept. This is Joel chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, right? Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions, man. And this is ultimately that time of season that we are in, because ultimately we know that we're coming close to all of these prophecies and all of these things coming to pass. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is pouring out his spirit upon, you see, all flesh, man. You got a lot of, men and women that are having these dreams about ultimately these horrible times that are soon to come, about to come to this place, America, in the world, man. And ultimately, you can filter a lot of the dreams that these people have through the scriptures. So you're able to line it up, you see, and know that these things are going to happen real soon, man, because it's in the scriptures, So with that being said, I'm going to go and get into this video, and we're going to watch and listen to what it is that the Jake in the video is saying. And I'm going to grab a few precepts, and Abarat Desire be edifying. But with that being said, fair use. I'm not getting paid for this video. Educational purposes only.
And many of them would happen. There were many times where they were confirmed as real. Not just a dream or not just something that was a figment of my imagination. They would confirm themselves to be very, very real. So there was one that I did not get the understanding for, and I don't even want to say I misunderstood it, because these things are to happen and there are scriptures to back them up. But I didn't understand the fullness of it until now. So in the dream, there were young men. There were young men that were in old army uniforms, the old BUs, like 90s uniforms, not necessarily World War I or II, but they were in like 90s army attire. And they were all younger than me. All these men were younger than me. None of them were millennials. They were all Gen Z men. And they were running into a battlefield. Now, let me describe this battlefield to you. It was very big, it was very wide, and it was dark outside, so it was nighttime. So the grass was dark green, but had that very much black hue over it. And the men were running into the battlefield and being shot down. I mean, shot in the head, shot in the chest, shot down. It was every last one of them. They were all running out with weapons. They were running out with old guns that the military no longer uses in combat. M16s are not used in the military combat anymore.
Right. And you hear what it is that, he ultimately said just for the little bit of the video I allowed to play. But yeah, he was basically, going into, a bunch of Gen Zs, going out into a battlefield zone again, wiped out, man. And we know ultimately what he's talking about is the draft. You see, because a lot of you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, and Indian, YNs, you see, you want to be tough guys out here in this place, America. Hey, the Lord going to put the spirit on this devil. When this draft come, a lot of you are going to get sent over there to the so-called Middle East, man. You see, a lot of you are going to be sent off in this coming world war that's coming. You see, and that's prophecy. A lot of you Jakes out there, you're going to be sent off to go fight, man. Right. And that's what he ultimately, said he was having a dream about. Just a lot of Jakes, Gen Zs, which are, young children, just going out there, running out there into a battlefield and just getting slaughtered, man. You see, this is what Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about to bring, man. You see, very soon. All right.
And they were running out there with them, and they were not using them properly. They were flailing above the head, going, and then, and they're running out there and dying. They were just getting slaughtered. And the thing is, nobody was actually shooting at them. They were running to a tree line, a dark tree line. And as they would run, bullets would fly out from over there. They were just flying. And you couldn't see who was shooting. There was no person over there actually shooting. They were running to a dark tree line and just being shot. They wouldn't even make it to the tree line before they would be shot. This field that they were in had to be about the size of maybe a football and a half, long. A football field and a half long. And it was being covered in blood. The men were being picked up by these old-looking, I want to say World War I. The terms World War I keep popping in my head, but they look like World War I ambulances. And the medics kept trying to come out there and pick up the bodies and pick up the wounded. And there were so many young men dying and being shot and wounded till when wounded men were collected by the medics, they would eventually die, because what was happening is there were so many dead men that 7 of them would be stuffed into the back of these ambulances at a time. They would be stuffed in, and the wounded would die because they were among the dead. It was so much dying going on. It was horrific to see. And the scene ended up turning red.
And you hear what it is that Jake is ultimately saying, right? And I'm actually go to a precept, just touching on that, because we know through the Spirit that we are getting ready to come into a time where, it's about to be a lot of death happening, man. You see, worldwide, here in this place, America, just all over, man. The Lord is about to be judging a lot of people, man, because we are in those times and seasons, man. You see, where things are about to get heated, things are about to get worse, right? This is 2 Esdras, chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Right, it says, nevertheless, as come in the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Right. And we know ultimately when it's talking about that, a lot of people being taken in a great number, that's going to happen in these times we're in now, man. That's talking about a lot of people ultimately are about to get sent to the spiritual realm, because you're about to have a lot of mass judgments that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is soon about to bring to this earth. You see, that's why in the scriptures it tells us it's going to be a time like no other, man. You see, that's why you're ultimately going to have the Archangel Michael, standing up ultimately to protect the elect of the nation of Israel, man, because that's how bad soon come is going to be out here in this place, with the judgments and the plagues and all of the different things that the Lord is soon about to bring upon this place, man. Right. So I'm going to get back into the video.
Dying and not even having a chance. Like, they wouldn't duck. They had no guidance. They had no formation. They had no understanding. They literally did not know how to fight in this battle. And they were just running out there charging and being slaughtered. And so the ambulances weren't even being touched. That's the thing. The ambulances were clean, but they were very old. No rust or anything, but they were very old style, like literally World War I old. I don't know why I keep saying World War I. But the medics themselves were never being shot. They were helping, but they weren't being. They were out there, but they weren't being shot. So now you got. That was the first dream, and by the end of the dream, the field was covered in blood that would not dry up. It was blood it would remain red. It covered. It was so much blood. It covered the dark hue that came from the night sky. It was just so much. And it was horrible. This dream ended. Then months later, I had another dream. And for those that understand what I'm saying, if you understand what I'm saying, this dream was connected to the first one, even though they were months apart. And I'll tell you how I know it. You'll hear it when I talk about it. In the second dream, it was about Generation Z women. There were no millennial women in this. It was Generation Z women and millennial men. They were the only ones I saw in this. So the Generation Z women were running around holding babies. They were holding their children. and they were running around looking for men. They were asking men to.
Right. And you listen to what it is that the guy's saying. Right. And I'm going to grab a precept just touching on what he's basically about to get into. You see, because this time is coming, man. Because as it says right here, this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 33. It says, the virgins, which are women of marriageable age, right, shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, meaning husbands or men to care for them, right? The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers, right? And like I said, this goes connected to the first dream that the guy ultimately just said, right? As it says on down, verse 34. In the wars, right? The race wars, the class wars, being drafted off to go fight in the Third World War, right? Shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine, you see? So like I said, these are the things that are ultimately about to come to this place, America, in the world, man. You see, how about Shem Yahushua is about to bring mass judgment, you see? And we know that, these women out here are not going to have any men to defend them, you see? Only women that are ultimately going to have that aid are the elect lady, you see, who the Lord is ultimately going to lead to the elect man of the nation of Israel, you see? Because as it tells us right here, I'm going to grab this precept. This is Isaiah chapter 32 and 2. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, right? That's talking about an elect man. And a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, you see? So an elect man of the nation of Israel is going to be, that go-to man in these times and seasons we're about to come into. Because as it tells you in Isaiah 33 and 6, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. But you see, these 2/3 Jake men are not going to have the understanding of the scriptures, you see, or these heathens. So guess what? They're not going to be stable in these times we getting ready to come into. They're not going to know what's happening according to the scriptures or prophecy. They're not going to be in a level-headed state. You see, they're going to be in derision all over the place, losing, hope, bugging out. You see, but the men of the Lord are going to be stable in these times. And that's why the elect lady, you see, or just women in general are going to flock to them. You see, this is that time we coming into, man. You see, and these things will happen because it's prophecy, So I'm going to get back into this video. Bear with me. And we're just going to listen to what it is he's saying. But, these times are coming, man. That's why the Lord is, like I said earlier, pouring out his spirit upon all flesh, man. And men and women are constantly having these dreams of these, times that we're about to come into. Right.
To marry them. They were telling men, please, they were telling the millennial men, please marry me. Please marry me. If you don't marry me, I won't survive. I won't be protected. No one will care. Help me. And a lot of the men were turning them down. The men were telling them, I'm not raising you in those babies. I'm not raising you in that baby. And what it was, it came to me. Those women were actually the mothers to the children that were the children of the men that had died in the first dream. They were all of the children were born out of wedlock. Every last one of them were born out of wedlock, and the women were running around trying to find a man that would marry them. They were even offering themselves in ways that they probably normally wouldn't do. I could hear so many different voices. I could hear so many different arguments, so many different disagreements, and so many different denials. And the women were running to the men, and they were telling the men, marry me. I don't care what I have to do. And some of the women...
Right. You hear what it is Jake is saying? And hey, that's coming, man, real soon. All right. So I'm going to grab this precept because this is ultimately what he's going into, man. You see, this is, I'm going to grab this precept first. This is Isaiah, right? Chapter 13. And I'm going to go to verse 12, right? Going straight to the point. And it says, I will make a man, right? Talking about an elect man of the nation of Israel in the times we're about to come into, right? More precious than fine gold, right? And even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir, right? So like I said, we're getting ready to come into some deadly serious times, man. And that elect man of the nation of Israel is going to be stable. While the rest of these men out here are going to be bugging out, are going to be weak, not knowing what to do, not, ultimately having Yahweh Shem Yahushua with them. So, hey, these dudes are going to be out here just, dying, getting, judged left and right. And the women are going to ultimately, flock to the men of the Lord, man. That's when Isaiah 4:1 going to come to play, right? And I'm going to grab that precept real quick through the Spirit as well. And it says, and in that day, right, what day is this talking about? The day that this guy just had a dream about, man. When all hell breaks loose, when things out here, go ugly, which is coming real soon, man. Right? It says, and in that day, 7 women, right, shall take hold of one man. That's what's coming, man. Because like I just read earlier in 2nd Ezra 16, you're going to have a lot of these men that are going to, die in these race wars. They're going to die of famine. They're going to die getting sent off to go fight in World War III. You see, they're going to be, being judged by definitely various different things, man. You see, that the Lord is going to bring upon them. You see, so a lot of these men are going to be, slaughtered, right? And there's not going to be that many men left around, but the men of the Lord, you see, who ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to have mercy upon, his elect man, who he's going to be protecting and shielding in these times. You see, it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, right? Because they're going to ultimately go to that man of the Lord for comfort, man, for stability. Because like I said, they're going to see the stability. You see, they're going to see that the Lord is ultimately dealing with that man. Because you see, around this time, you see the Lord is going to be, putting on men to have spiritual power. Men are going to be doing certain different types of things in these times. So, I mean, hey, those women are going to see that and they're going to flock to that man for protection, you see. And then like the guy was just saying in the video, a lot of women are going to get turned away. You see, a lot of you women ain't going to have the men of the Lord with you. You see, this is only going to be for the elect ladies. You see that the Lord is ultimately going to lead to his man. You see, but for you 2/3 women out there, you women that don't need a man and you in that haughty spirit, hey, your ass going to get turned down in this day that's coming, man. You see. So I'm going to get back into the video, right? And we're going to watch a little bit more into it.
He even said, I'll be your 7th wife. I'll be your 7th wife. I don't care. I don't care if I'm the 7th one. And so the men were listening, and some of the men would choose as many women as they could. Some of the men chose none of them. A lot of them chose none of those women. And what they were saying was, I can't help you. I can't afford you. I don't want that baby. I don't want to raise another man's baby. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Why didn't you want me when I wanted you? What's going on now? No, I don't need that. But one of the statements stuck out.
Right. You heard what it is he said. Yeah. A lot of you women out there, in this time we coming into, you see, this is going to be the day when the men of the Lord, you see, when the Lord is going to even the playing field. You see, this is going to be that day when, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And like I said, the Lord is going to be with the elect lady of the nation of Israel. He's going to protect them and lead them to the elect man. But for you 2/3 women out there, hey, this is going to be a terrible day for you. You see, because like I said, the Lord is going to put the spirit on his men, like this guy was just saying in his dream, that, hey, you're going to be getting denied, man. You see, if you ain't a hopeful elect lady, you're going to get denied in that day. You see, you ain't going to be protected. You ain't going to be, ultimately, nurtured in this time. You're not going to be comforted. Oh, no, you're going to have to, do whatever it is you can do to protect yourself, man. You're going to basically be alone. You see, and that's why a lot of you women in this time, you see, that don't have an elect man of the nation of Israel, a lot of you are going to die, you see, and this is going to come for a lot of you women. You're going to see the importance of a man, you see, because like I said, a lot of you women are, filled up, full of yourselves, proud now. But like I said, in this day that we fastly coming into, hey, you ain't going to be proud, man. You see, all of that shit going to be a thing of the past, man, real soon. All right. Everybody going to be trying to get in line that day. Right. And I'm actually go to a precept real quick. You see, because this is ultimately what's going to come, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. All right, I got to grab it. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them, that in the latter time, which is that time we're in now, that shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. And that's ultimately what's going to come upon a lot of you women. A lot of you women in that day that's coming that's going to get denied are going to be you women that were proud. You see, you was arrogant. You see, you were full of yourselves. You was pompous. You see, Guess what? In this day that we're ultimately coming into, the Lord is not going to allow his men to take a lot of you women. A lot of you women are just going to die. That just is what it is, because a lot of you, you're not right. You see? And that's why the Lord going to have the spirit on his men in that day to reject a lot of you, man. You see? Only women that are ultimately going to be, cared for in this time are the elect ladies, right? But hey, it's coming, man. You see? The Lord is pouring out his spirit, But I'm going to get back into the video. We're going to watch a little bit more of it. The point has already been made, you see. But hey, Isaiah 4:1 is coming, you see.
I don't want to have anything to do with you. Why didn't you want me when I wanted you? What's going on now? No, I don't need that. But one of the statements stuck out to me. One statement said, I don't want to raise that child because I don't know anything about his father. If you know anything about the connection between young boys and their fathers, you kind of understand how severe this is. The men, the millennial men were telling the women, I don't want what their father has to come into my household. And so they would deny the women. And some of the men even told the women, I'll take you, but you have to leave the baby. And a few of the women chose to leave the child just so they can be wives. There was women running around saying, God, please give me a husband. I don't want to live with my reproach. I don't want to live with my reproach. I don't want to live like this anymore. And scripture talks about this.
Right. And you hear what it is the guy's saying, man, right? And I'm actually grab a precept real quick through the spirit, right? Because this is ultimately what's coming, right? This is Isaiah chapter 32, right? And I'm going to go down to verse 9, right? In the KJV, it says, rise up, ye women, right? You so-called Negro, Latino, Native American women here in America, right? That are at ease. You see, you comfortable. A lot of you women still comfortable because you don't believe in your mind that these times are actually going to come. You don't think that things in this place is actually going to get worse. You don't see yourself in a situation like this, ultimately, begging the man of the Lord to ultimately to, support you and to nurture you and to be there with you. You see, because in a lot of you women's mind, you see, you don't think this stuff is ever going to come. You see, and like I said, that's that pride. But hey, that's all about to come to an end real soon, man. It says, hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech, right? Because a lot of you women are in that careless state of mind as of now, right? This is verse 10. It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, right? Ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come, you see. And we see everything that's happening here in this place, America, man, which is ultimately going to, issue in this time, man. Look at what happened. And you see the big, beautiful bill Donald Trump just passed. A lot of these women, food stamps getting taken away from them. You see all of their benefits. You just had an article come out maybe about a few weeks ago where you had at least over 500,000 black women that just got laid off randomly, man, in the course of a few months. You see? So like I said, things are getting bad out here, man, especially for you women. You see? And ultimately, this is all judgment coming from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because like I said, a lot of you women are just proud, man. You see? So that's why these miseries are ultimately coming upon a lot of you, right? But it says, this is verse 11. Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins, right? This is verse 12. It said, they shall lament. That goes into crying, mourning, right? For the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine, right? Like I said, a lot of you women are going to be mourning in these times that are coming, you see. Ultimately mourning for your benefits, mourning not having any support, not having anything to, you're like, hey, that's coming, man. You see, it's coming soon. And like I said, I'm actually go to this other video that I have, that I'm going to show, just proving that we are definitely coming into these times where it's about to get bad for a lot of you women, man, which is going to, ultimately usher in this time where Isaiah 4:1 is going to be, you see, taking place. Right. This is the brother Arrows and Indignation. Right. Go to his channel. And I got this video I'm going to show from the brother's page. Right. Just showing you how fast these times are approaching. Right.
did was create the potential for SNAP programs to no longer exist in any shape, form, or fashion in terms of providing SNAP benefits in states that could not afford to or chose not to, for whatever reason, meet the cost sharing. Is that a fair assessment of that, Ms. Green?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bivens?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes, sir.
I almost just want to sit in silence to let that sink in. The United States of America just signed into law a bill that will allow states, essentially, to determine whether or not they will provide food assistance to anyone. Anyone. The federally funded food assistance to anyone.
How does she get now? $469. 59-year-old Sharon Perez says even with SNAP, it's hard to keep up with her bills. As a full-time caregiver for her mother, she worries that these changes could put her benefits at risk.
It helps a great deal, but it's not enough still.
For locals like Perez, when the waiver expires in 2026, many more Nevadans will need to work to keep their benefits or risk losing them. So what's changing? Here's a breakdown. SNAP work requirements, which used to stop at the age of 54, will now increase to 64. Parents will only get an exemption if their children are under 14. And automatic exceptions for veterans, the homeless, and former foster youth are being eliminated. State data shows nearly 133,000 Nevadans could be affected.
In New York City, the SNAP and EBT reductions and work requirements are officially
Right? And you brothers and sisters basically got a gist of everything I showed from the video. You know, the points basically been made. You know, ultimately, we see everything that's happening with the worsening of America's economy and just how things are. You see the prophecies that are coming to pass real soon. We know that it's about to get ugly out here, man. You see, and like I said, you women being the weaker vessel, you're going to feel it the worst, man. You see? So, you know, that's why, as I just read earlier, that the men of the Lord, you see, the elect are going to be as that fine gold, you see, in this time that's to come, you see. So, you know, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Abarat Zah, I pray it be edifying to you, brothers and sisters. With that being said, to the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.